Dave, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure, sir. The most important thing in my little life at the moment, and everyone around it, is giggling and laughing at life, at myself.
You have a laugh at me today, or we'll have a laugh. We'll have a laugh at each other. You was wearing black leather jacket. You had hair back then.
The Bermondsey Boy was called, and it was me they was using that because I was doorman. I'd got involved in some violence, and I was definitely, it looked like I was going to prison. So they filmed me going, debt collecting, car repossession, throwing squatters out, bashing people up for money, all the horrible things. And when I turned up, so it happened with the witnesses, and they all said it were me. And so I got not guilty. So they had to make a documentary out of the shit bit they'd done at the beginning of me just running around every morning. I never thought I was going to meet him or then get to know him, or I was going to meet Reggie Kray.
So they've come back for more for a reason.
I'm a lion. I bite you. I'm the king of the jungle.
Dave, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure, sir.
I appreciate it. And you look well. You look...
I didn't know I was ill.
Yeah. No, but you look...
No, I feel good.
You look double well. You still got that sparkle in those lovely blue eyes of yours.
I am still hungry.
For life.
Yeah, for life. There's nothing else.
The zest for it.
Nothing else. The most important thing in my little life at the moment, and everyone around it, is giggling and laughing and spending as much time here laughing at life, at myself. Nothing. You
have a laugh at me today, or we'll have a laugh. We'll have a laugh at each other.
I've had a laugh looking at all your videos. Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is,
I've got the same haircut, bruv. Stop it. I'm loving you already.
Same. It's almost like we're related. But I think you get. So I first saw you, and I know I got the order wrong of when it happened, but I first saw you on the Trisha show, and you was with your wife,
Jennifer.
Jennifer, yeah. And I was so young because you got 20 years on me, didn't you?
I don't know how old you are.
I'm 43.
You lucky little bastard.
I know, I've still got...
I fought in the war for you.
Yeah, I know, and I respect that. I respect that. So I saw you, so when I was a young kid, and that was the first time I saw you, and I don't know why I was watching that TV programme, but I was, and you was on there, and I completely latched on, and I gravitated to you, and I hooked onto your every word, and I was immediately interested in you as a character. And then I watched and listened, and then I don't know how I found the documentary. And there was a documentary of you debt collecting. You was wearing black leather jacket. You had hair back then.
The Bermondsey Boy was called.
Is it? Yeah. Tell me. So what was it? Because is this what put you on Dave Courtney on the scene?
They didn't want. They wasn't actually looking to do a documentary on Dave Courtney at all. They was going to do a documentary on someone who they knew was going to be going to prison, so they could film his home life before he went in, film him when he went in. They had permission from the Home Office to film them while they was in, and then when they come out to see if prison had worked. This is what he's like before he went in. This is whether his family had stayed loyal and still there at the end. And 6 months after he'd been out, had prison worked or not. That was the documentary. And it was me they was using that because I was doorman. I'd got involved in some violence, and I was definitely, it looked like I was going to prison. And so they filmed me going, debt collecting, car repossession, throwing squatters out, bashing people up for money, all the horrible things, so that at the end I can make really easy to make me look like a nice guy. That's what he was like. And when I turned up, so it happened with the witnesses, and they all said it were me. And so I got not guilty. So they had to make a documentary out of the shit bit they'd done at the beginning of me just running around every morning. And it made it look like I just went, got up, beat someone up for breakfast, debt collected in the afternoon, threw 2 squatters out for the evening, you know.
I bet they were delighted, weren't they, when the jury lost their memory?
Yeah, well, I was. I don't know about that. I was absolutely delighted. But they called it the Bermondsey Boy, and I lived in Peckham at the time, and that's not rivalry, but each got your own manor, stay in your own postcode, right? And they resented the fact that it was called Bermondsey Boy. And it just sounded better than Peckham Boy. I don't know. I was a telly people. I was not London. But it caused me a little bit of problem there.
Because I was too young to obviously get the complete concept. I just remember seeing you as a figurehead in people's houses, being menacing. So you was currently awaiting trial.
I was awaiting trial, yeah.
Right, so I didn't know. So you're awaiting trial. The media have cottoned on to that, thought we'd make a documentary before, during and after prison.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what I love about these fucking podcasts. 'Cause I'm now learning.
And then it was a complete accident what actually done it for Dave Courtney, because after you've been on the telly as whatever they say you are, the rest of the world think you are. Right? You know, once I've been on the telly as a raving nutter, run around fighting, attacking French, you know, it starts your reputation. That's where you are with that.
However,
Don't change it.
However, yes, you're on there as a menacing character, collecting, demanding money, but you was also lovable. So they've come back for more for a reason. It weren't because no one loved.
I'm a lion. I bite you. I'm the king of the jungle. No.
People like what they saw.
Well, thank God. I think normally the press's attitude before they brought in that it's against the law to glamorise crime, for most criminals were a bit, give them enough rope and they will hang themselves with a microphone, or they want telly, or, you know, they will talk themselves into showing themselves as an idiot. But I weren't. And they let me run with that telly thing. And everyone was going, oh, he's quite a nice bloke. Oh, I'll have him on Trisha. Oh, I'll have him on... And you know, oh, my God, what's that mean? And it's my popularity that they actually got the hump with, not running around like they're still trying to put me in prison now. I'm obviously not into any kind of crime at all. Now I've got flags outside the house.
Yeah.
Painting to myself, you know.
Incognito.
But the more people, the more popular you become, that is fearful for them. Oh, my God, everyone's...
So the Bermondsey Boy documentary, that can still be found on YouTube, can't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be... That's
me with hair. I've got a fringe.
You've got to go and watch Dave Courtney with hair.
Done, because they also show a picture of my cock in that documentary. Right? I'm lying there in a bar.
No.
And he went, we're all right here filming here. I thought, well, you can't have me cock here. But he's like, I went, yeah. And I'll come up and I go, not guilty, please. No. But they're filming me and it has been bigger.
I was going to say, was it warm in
Don't
or was
want
it cold?
to talk about it.
So, from the documentary, I'm glad they got your cock in the picture. Why not? You like a giggle, we all do. Happy days, there's nothing funnier than that. So what happened after the documentary? Who then approached you after that? Because my next memory is Trisha.
Yeah, no, it went long, many years.
Yeah, I bet.
10 odd years before Trisha. But that actually threw me into the mix as a known quantity. I was then doing a lot of the door work. I had all the doormen. The West End, you was meeting all the celebrities. You was in London. And some of the doormen became actual superstars themselves. And Lenny McLean. You know, you don't get any world famous doormen now, do you? You know, but in them days, that class of a man, the actual doorman was famous. Forget the club or what act you had on. The actual doorman himself was famous for nothing other than being a doorman, you know. And it was easy for me to start nicking little bits of glamour if I wanted it. So but I was still dabbling very much with
criminality
at the time. So getting in the papers was the last thought on my head. Listen, I'll explain it. The Krays funeral for me was nothing more than I had a security company. I thought that was going to blow it up into the realms of millionaire status. You understand? I mean, CNN and all that there. And I took that on board very, very seriously. That I was looked at by the rest of the world as the typical English gangster. You know what I mean? So
it could have put you
took that on board.
It could have put you national because the Americans loved the English gangster.
That's what I was playing for. The clothes, the act. Most people in crime have spent their life ducking in the shadows, collar turned up, low-key car. And I'm blowing it into, right, we're now turning it celebrity.
But running a security firm is a legitimate business.
It is an absolute legitimate in our eyes. But on that day, where the police were concerned, there was, for the very first time, real organised crime on visual. That's one criminal organising 150 criminals from all over England to come to London to celebrate the life of another criminal. That's organised crime. All these firms that were there watching the filming, half of them didn't fucking get on. The last time they were seeing each other, they were shooting each other. But for that day, we'd all come and pay homage to the monarch of the underworld. But there was some very, very England's finest.
Yeah, yeah.
And the bloke who organised it, being me, he put me at the top of the hit list for the old bill is, we can't have another army in England. We've got to shut that down, and I don't like it being popular. Stop it.
So what did you do? You got the head geezer from each firm around the country and bought.
Over the course of being a doorman up and down the country and abroad and getting cream jobs, you get to know most of the doormen. And most of the big doormen are the things that's running things in that town.
So let's say, so you said Lenny. So you mentioned Lenny McLean and the Krays. So I want to touch base on both of them.
Yeah.
So was Lenny one of your doormen?
No,
did he work for you?
I can't wait. No, Lenny worked for him. Or should I say, Lenny worked for him. You know.
Right.
He was a famous doorman when he was at the Hippodrome as the main club in London, right? And behind the scenes, that was on a Saturday night. Behind the scenes, in real life, in the pubs and the firm, he was a tasty bastard that done bare knuckle fighting, and you could get him to do your debt collecting or, keep someone hiding for you. He was for hire. He was a big, strong. He wasn't actually a villain, you know that, didn't you?
Yeah, I do know. He's not a villain.
Not that he would mind me saying that, but he wasn't actually a villain. He was the toughest thing on two legs in a doorway of a nightclub fighting or in a doorway of someone's house demanding money. I've never seen anything so professionally well organised, horrific at work.
Yeah, he's a deadly weapon himself. Could you imagine? And I've got to tread carefully because I still run a security firm. However,
be blunt. It's tough love.
You got to call it. You got to call it what it is. Right. Could you imagine Lenny McLean now? He would be looking at doorman nowadays, turning in his grave, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he wouldn't actually turn up to work if he had to stand with some of the people. Not that they're
running,
wrong.
hiding.
Not that they're wrong, right? Because over the course of a period of decades, the name of a job, the job changes, the name don't, right? And a doorman then is not the same sort of person that is now, A doorman then, a governor then would have sacked you if you lost a fight and employed a better fighter. Nowadays, if you hit somebody back just once, the governor has to get you down to the police station, get you nicked, never work again, take your licence off you. So fighting is the same as any other sport, and which I mean, if you don't do it often, you can't be good at it. And if you hit somebody back now once, you're sacked. So how the fuck can you get good at something you're not allowed to do?
No, it's real. There's so many restrictions put in place now. But in your...
And most probably how the world's going, rightfully so.
Yeah,
shouldn't have, But as I'm talking about as the quality of men, every man now is diluted. Mentally, they're diluted. Fighting-wise, just man himself, testosterone, is now diluted, right? Men used to knock on your door if you had a problem with you. Now they'd knock on your door, or now they'd send you an email calling you whatever. You knew everyone's phone number once off by heart, but now you've got your phone thing. You don't know anyone. They're just diluting men's bravery. They don't like anyone maverick, anyone a little bit nonconformist. Right, so they're diluting man. That's what I'm saying. And you'll never, ever get another Lenny McLean because they are well diluted. You need the sort of doormen that are out there now, normal, everyday people. You don't need nutters, nutty, good fighters, power. You don't need them because you'll do it in a different way.
Although you are still going to get the problematic punter that turns up and they're going to come mob-handed. But
you're allowed now to employ 15 doormen for that night. I'm saying we had 3.
Yeah, I know.
So you had to have, nutters. And you had 3.
And from the words of Dave Courtney, who, if it wasn't the largest security firm in the UK, it was certainly one of. If there was a row, an almighty altercation in a venue, and one of the doormen ran off and hid in the toilets, what would happen to that doorman after the shift?
Nowadays?
No, back in the day.
He'd never come out of the cupboard. But the job application is different now. Bouncer then was, I need a nutter in a suit. Now it's, I need someone that can help out pass the baton, they're not looking for an hard nut, and you don't have to be any good at some full contact sport to be a doorman now. But I think the word doorman now, and it should be another word.
Yeah.
Because it's associated with the Lenny McLeans, the Roy Shaws, which were just memorable people that could have a row.
Everybody, and they were good friends of yours.
Yeah, very good friend of mine. They're not good friends of each other, but very, very good friends of mine. Just a different breed of man. And in them days, it was even the police would give you a clip round the ear and drag you around by your ear, or it was a more physical. You could smack your kid if he'd done something wrong. I mean, I got a whole speech about that bit. I'll drop on you later, but it was a more physical.
Well, I'll tell you what I'd rather in this day and age. If I was taking liberties out in the street, I would much rather a copper pull out his truncheon and smash me around the back of the legs and say, Liam, liven yourself up, have some respect, you don't behave like that. Rather than them now, you get police getting read the riot act, telling them to be quiet, fuck off, and then they're dancing at gay pride events, not being taken seriously. It's like, when you say men's testosterone has watered down, I mean, it's across the board.
Yeah.
It's fucking
But don't get me
embarrassing.
wrong, I'm not an anti-policeman here. I'm not an anti-law, all policemen are wankers. I'm not on that little buzz.
You haven't got ACAB tattooed on your head anyway.
No. No. I'm just saying there is such a thing as good baddies and there is bad goodies. Right? And in both camps, there is them people that should be doormen but running off into the cupboard. And you do get policemen that can't catch you, so they plant something on you. I'm not saying they're all, but there is good,
Have you lived over the years with the fear that you're going to have something planted on you?
Oh, of course I have. I've paid policemen for many, many years. I've been, in the era that I was actually active, it was quite commonplace to know your local CID. You understand what I mean?
And when you say you were active, can you talk freely about what were you doing? What was you doing that was active?
Well, because I was running the actual doorman, everything that each individual doorman was doing as his own personal naughty boy crime world, I became involved in that. So from armed robberies to fraud to smuggling to everything you can think of bad, or as is, I've done it. Yeah? And I think now my gift of being able to do this and living all the things I've lived through, I'm now a wealth of information in one kind of area, law. I look after my babies, I look after my men, not just when they go to prison, I look after their families, I'm a care bear, I've been to prison, I've been waiting on bail, so I can give you personal information of what you're going to feel like, what to do. I can help you. I've been shot at, I've been divorced, I've lost my kids, I've had my son murdered, right? So I'm a wealth of information in that world of, I can really, because you can't learn nothing unless it hurts you. You have to go, ow, that's hot, I won't fucking touch that again. All that pain you're getting from whatever it is you're getting it for, at the end, makes you a kind of way, builds the sort of man you are, and it gives you an insight into something that if someone just tried to explain it to you, you'd think you'd got it, but you ain't until you've been there. Prison, so I'm a wealth of information for one type of person.
Yeah, you've overcome a lot of trauma, haven't you?
Oh, I've had more than my fair share.
Yeah, to still have a smile on your face and that glisten in your eye, like I said earlier. And I've heard interviews before, and a lot of things that, because you've got such a massive story, you've got decades of interesting, fabulous stories, a lot of them are mentioned there, touch base on. But I want to sort of home in on a few of them. So, for example, who shot at you and why did they shoot at you? You said, I've been shot at. Because we could easily skim past that, but who
I know the man who ordered it, but I don't know the man who done it.
What was the reason?
And the reason was purely down to I was looking after this fella, a big fella, and I was his backup really, walking around 24 hours a day looking after him, getting stupid money. And the man that wanted to get him thought he had to get me out of the way first. So I just got one for nothing.
And is that the only time you've been shot at?
No, fuck no. And I don't mean
we all right in here today?
But I haven't been shot at for nearly a week.
So the odds are we'll be all right.
But if you say it as casually as I want to and make it interesting for you, that It's only because you're used to that. It's not as scary and I can talk to you. I mean, if you've had 10 people shoot at you or 50 people in my life, I've gone to pull that gun on the door and I went to search him. What's that? You know, the first time that happens to you is terrifying. Right, the first time. The second time, by the fourth and fifth time, you're thinking of funny comments and you've blown what to say. You know, by the 20th time, and you've been doing it for 12 years now, you know what to do. And it ain't a scary thing.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes natural to you, sticking your arm up a fucking cow's arse all day as a vet. I couldn't do it. And jumping on someone someone jumping on you with a gun could be more terrifying maybe for him over there than it is for me. But what he does, working at the front of a kiln or something like that, all the fire and the metal shot, that would be terrifying for me. Yeah, and not him. So it's just a choice of job.
So you've had so many guns pointed at you, but you've become desensitised to even being concerned about it.
Yeah, but I'm not the only one. Everyone in this world sort of is a bit like that.
And you've been stabbed?
I've been stabbed fucking more times than I can tell you.
Oh, is that on the door or off the door?
Yeah, on the door and off the door, yeah.
Yeah. And how did you meet the Krays? How did that come about? Because
I'm trying to expel a couple of this. First of all, there is no such thing as a celebrity gangster. Right? There is no such thing. I'm not going to do the same old corny joke. I'm not going to do it.
Go on.
But the two words don't go, celebrity gangster. That's like saying police intelligence. Right? That really is true. The two words don't go. And you can be one or the other.
Was you a gangster?
I don't know. In other people's eyes, they can call you what they want. How I saw me, I know I wasn't a gangster. I really don't think I was a gangster. I knew a load of naughty men. Yeah?
Because you're definitely a celebrity.
Well, I am that now, yeah. But I after the funeral happened, I was just Dave, the doorman before that. After the funeral, the very next day, where I'm trying to get a load of jobs for the security company and getting in all the pictures and whatever it is and that, the very next day, I'm thinking it's going to change me job-wise, big jobs, America and all that. It actually went celebrity gang, heir to the throne. South London's the answer to the down. I was like, wow, that really genuinely weren't where I was going with that at all.
Yeah.
At all did I want to be known as any criminal gangster thing when I'm hanging around with licensing managers and trying to get contracts for, But there it was.
But how did you get the Ron Kray contract? How did you meet him before it led to that?
Well, they was in prison. They've been in prison for 15 years before I met them.
Yeah, because there's a big age gap in there.
Yeah, when they was running around doing their naughty bits, I was in a Silver Cross prayer meeting in Rusk. I wasn't running around with the Krays. I didn't meet them till they'd been in prison. And the way my life was going, and I was having all the doormen in all the clubs, they still had a couple of little fingers in little pies. Not as big as people would imagine, but they wanted to know who this Dave Courtney fella was. It was a buzz for me because I was very young and I got off on, I just met Ronnie Reggie Kray. So you can imagine,
yeah.
Wow, man. If they'd have asked me for a kiss, I'd have gone, yes. So they asked me to do you little favours here and now. And then I've ended up seeing them a lot. I saw them 3 or 4 times a week for the next 15 years.
Did you spend...
Charlie Kray lived with me. I was on holiday with him. I was one of the witnesses in his last court case. I've been to Broadmoor, seen Ronnie a good few times. I've seen Reggie a lot of times. And
where was that, in Parkhurst?
All over the place. Maidstone, Reg, Ronnie Broadmoor.
I think Reg was Maidstone after Parkhurst, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's done the whole lot. He's done every single one, but Maidstone's where...
Talks very quietly, doesn't he? Got to lean into it.
He does talk very quietly. I'm afraid. It's the power of that little box, the power of the media and all that. Had they been able to be seen by the general public for the last 40 years, or whatever it was, I don't think the myth would have grown that big, but the authorities have learned by this, and that's why they've started right at the bottom. You can't glamorise crime, because it was that. Had they seen them, there's a lot of big men that wouldn't have gone, well, I'm not prepared to follow that, because in reality, the Krays were nothing like the myth, right? There's no little firm anywhere would listen to them today. It was because of that era that they got away with it. right? And then running Bethnal Green with only 150,000 people living in Bethnal Green, all speaking and understood English. They can run that. That one road, it's nothing. Years later, and with telly and computers and books and films, it looked like they was proper running London, what it weren't. I bang on this, I'm sorry, that's the truth. One road, Milan Road. Right? The myth is very romantic, but the men are not. They were too... they were basic. Right? They're basic. There weren't no masterminds. There was no glamour hungry, basic, no longevity, no honesty, no... What everyone wants there to be around honour among thieves, all that.
So they were sort of ruthless. Loyal to themselves.
Yeah, a little loyal to himself in one road. There were no London things, of no mafia things.
Nowhere near as big as what the media has painted them out.
Yeah, nowhere at all. Nowhere at all. But, and the Richardsons were twice as big.
Yeah. And and Charlie Richardson was extremely intelligent, wasn't he?
Yeah, a fantastic man. Beautiful.
Hell of a businessman.
Beautiful man.
And it's a shame when someone's got that sort of that talent, that business acumen, that it gets overshadowed with other bits and pieces that the media want to label you with.
Yeah.
And all the genius of you gets swept aside, and that's really what you should be getting the credit for.
Yeah, there weren't no genius thing round up.
Reg and Ron.
No.
Just outright brute force.
Yeah, and it wasn't a massive, big brute force. They had a big reputation, but not so many people in the gang. Everyone in East End pretended they was. Every black man says he's a yardie. Every paddy says he's IRA. You understand what I mean? Every black man says he's a yardie.
They played up to the stereotype.
They played up to the thing, and they were more interested in getting in the paper, as I was once myself, than getting on in real life. Back, watching the bank balance grow, they were not one really famous for anything.
Yeah. Did you get on better with one or the other, Reg or Ron?
I see Reggie more than Ron. Ron's a nicest fella by the time I met him, but he was...
He's off key, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was used to getting his own way. Yeah. He spoke very quietly. But the thing that we with him that I thought was just, wow, why never anyone said this before? Because he'd been in prison for so long, in them days, the fluorescent lighting in that weren't great, and it hurt your eyes like a microwave when it first come out and all that. So for 20 years, he didn't have his light turned off. He was an ACAT. So even in prison all day, all night, his fluorescent lights was on, and he never blinked. No, I don't know why anyone never said that, but he never blinked. He would talk to you. He'd go, "Morning, David. Thank you for coming to visit me. A nice long way. Should we first go take this note to the canteen and do some things that I want you to get?" And he'd never blink.
Did you feel like you had to do the same?
Oh, well, no, I'm going to be staring at him. I'm not that divvy, you know. But he weren't even trying to do it to be hard. He was 75. He's just talking like that.
Just gone.
Wow. And when I investigated, I found out what it was. Everyone knew that happens to people who have been in prison, not just him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, fucked. How about that? So that's Reg and Ron, that's Lenny McLean. So the Richardsons, you're tight with them as well?
I'm tight with all of them, yeah.
Yeah, because by doing my research...
Because it was the media that actually forced them to start fighting. Please believe me, because they have full control over it, media. Well, that's television, on how they move the herd or how they change the mind of the masses. As one big tight firm of gangsters... All right, that'd be an hard nut for the police to crack, you know what I mean, if everyone's big. So they separate it, divide and conquer. And if I can get him fighting him, then it's easy for the police to come in and just nick them for that.
Yeah.
They can make them do things, because if they go Krays, the visitors will get the hum of it. So they was manipulated to being enemies more than they were, I think.
Yeah, and so all these heavy firms, the Richardsons and the Krays, and there's going to be other families that aren't even spoke about that are probably heavier.
The Nashes and all people like that.
And Lenny McLean's that and Roy Shaw's.
Yeah.
What was your role? Was you the middleman that kept the peace and you didn't fall out of any of them?
No, I was more or less the court jester, and I was there. They don't forget, we were going through a period of time that right up till then, all criminals had to have their collar up, no pictures, no photos, nothing, meeting down dark alleys. And now I brought crime and criminals into the fancy suits. I do an interview, chat to you on Vanessa. Well, that was a big bridge to cross for all them blokes that, and I was a lot younger than them when they all come out, the Tony Ambrianos, Fred Foreman's, and to cross that bridge into, I've got to be chatty about it and do the interviews. I'm good at it because I'm this era, but their era, they weren't good at it because they've had a whole lifetime of training not to.
So you were the man that sort of mainstreamed
So I was a bridge. So for a little while, I'd Afterworld not knowing what I was doing, going, he's got to be going to that. But I got Reggie a regular spot in a magazine, Front magazine, and Charlie Bronson, their own spot in the Chinaman. I've got all the Freddie Foreman's and the Tony Lambriano's pink shirt things, we're flying out to New York as catwalk models and all that shit. And then the authorities just couldn't get their head around that, so they put him on Trisha, and now everyone likes him. They stuck him on Vanessa, and they all like him, and they put him on Panorama, and they like him, and now he's going around the world doing audience whiffs. I spoke at the Oxford Union, man.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's no joke.
It was the first time I seen my mum genuinely really proud of me.
And what did you discuss on that? Because that's a real credible platform, isn't it? That's unbelievable.
Mental at the time. It was that impressive that Jay-Z put the picture of me speaking at the Oxford Union on the cover of his album and put his head on it, and it's called Blueprint. And it's a photograph of me sitting on the edge of a desk addressing the Oxford Union. And he thought, that's really funny. A convicted felon, Dave Courtney, I know him. They're reading all the gangster books from all the English gangsters. And he goes, he's teaching future Parliament how to behave for murder in a day. And so he put his head on the picture, done the exact same picture, and it's the cover of Blueprint. So it's all going through the court.
Did you get a few quid?
Oh, listen, I didn't, but it's not my picture. I didn't know all this at the time.
Right.
It's the picture, it's the man who clicked the button. I was just honoured that he
chose it.
Yeah, I'm still wanking over it, right? But the bloke who took the picture, he's fuming. He starts taking Jay-Z a call. I'm going, no. In case he does take it off, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, leave it be.
Right.
Yeah, it's cushy
20 years down the line, he's now it's now come into play about that picture. There's now court cases about it, and so he's going to sort of rear his head.
Rehash again.
Yeah, and I'm also doing a documentary at the moment, a 3-part, 1 hour series, free series, for Amazon Prime, I think, or Channel 5.
I'm not yet. Tell me more about that.
Oh, that's really cool. It's really cool. It's with Dice Recordings, who is the managerial team behind Big Nasty. And they've filmed, they've done it very, very properly, very professional. They've gone in and spoke to my school teachers, prison wardens, locked me up, ex-wives, kids, ex-door neighbours, doormen I've worked with, blokes I've bashed up, blokes I was in a prison cell with. They've really
covered the full spectrum.
Yeah, the lot. And
it's going to be a great watch, isn't it? If they're going right in deep with people you've bashed, your family members.
Well, they now can't make a feature film about me because now that new law's out and I'm still alive, you can't glamorise crime. You can't make a Dave Courtney. You can make a Krays film, they're dead, or a footballer could play Dave Courtney, but Dave Courtney can't play Dave Courtney. You can make a Frankie Fraser film, but they're all dead. I can't make a gangster film about a bloke that's still there.
Frankie Fraser, are we going to go there?
The truth of that is, he didn't know me, but the truth is, I actually hero worshipped him for the first 10 years of my life. Before I ever got thinking I would know him, it was Frankie Fraser. If he wanted to hit me, I'd have hit me for him. That walk, then I never thought I was going to meet him or then get to know him or I was going to meet Reggie Kray. I was a fucking kid.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about him dreamily. Then you get to meet him, then you get to know him, then you get to know him, then you get to know everyone else that knows him and his mum, dad, brother, sister, friends have known you. And you know about these stories, what are real, what are not. The rest of the world believe it, and you run with it. And the biggest myth there was Frankie Fraser.
What was his beef with you?
He wasn't impressed with the colour of my wife. Jennifer's Jamaican, and he's, I don't know, 70, 80. I get it. But we made a record called Products of the Environment with Tricky from Massive Attack, and me, Frankie Fraser, Charlie Richardson, Freddie Foreman, Tony Lambriano, Roy Shaw, Ronnie Beast, some other people, all made a record. Done an interview like this. They made a record, done the music, and then just dropped sentences in it that we said, and then put it all together. And they came over to England to do an interview, and they asked me to do the interview, and not him. And he's thinking, well, why did they ask you to do the interview? Because I'm 40 years younger than him. I'm a bit better at doing this.
Better communicator.
Right, that is the only reason. But he got such the hump with me being in the paper speaking on his behalf that he couldn't help it. But broke the golden rule and rung me up on my eyes. You and your little...
What did he say? Can you not say?
No, I don't know.
He was disrespectful about your wife.
It wasn't nothing gangstery we fell out over, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Because the feud seemed like it was massive.
How it turned nasty is I ended up... I couldn't even beat him up, he's too old, but he did get a clump off me at his house anyway. And that was it. And then I got arrested with a bent copper. And he jumped on the bandwagon, and all criminals are supposed to say tight. You understand what I mean? Like, keep that.
The code.
Yeah, you don't say the word. Right. And because he had the ump with me in general, because I've given him a dig, he went, I believe him. I think he is a grass. Well, all the other big ones knew that weren't right, because they'd used this copper themselves. The reason you have a bent copper is he gets you out of trouble, tells you what house they're in, filming you, what the registration number of the car is following you, opening plastic bags so it's intimidated evidence. They're priceless. They're priceless, but he just jumped to the bandwagon and went, I think he's a grass and all. And that added a little bit of...
doubt.
Yeah, which did generate me.
But the big firms didn't...
No, in real life. In real life.
It was only him calling you a grass, no one else was.
Well, he actually hammered his own coffee. I would have never... As long as I've got an hole in my arse, would I have ever had the arsehole to go, whether it's Frankie Fraser or me, pick which one you want. And that night there was an exhibition called the Crime Through Time exhibition, run by Nick Reynolds, Bruce Reynolds, his son, the great train robber.
Oh, right, yeah.
Bruce Reynolds, the brains that he had there. His son's also the brains in the art world, you know what I mean? He's a very talented, informative man. And there was an exhibition, and I was in it, and so was Frank. And Frank went, I would have never said, well, you pick him or me. I'd have never said that. But he said, well, you pick. You have picked with that Dave Courtney or me. So Freddie Footman went, see you later, Frank. And Bruce all went, see you later, Frank. That it.
So he got two big
He hammered his,
didn't he?
Yeah, he hammered his coffin down. So
Give him big bugs.
I didn't have to be horrible to him no more. He'd already killed himself.
Fucked himself.
I didn't hate him, man. He just didn't know me. You know what I mean?
So you can't glamorise crime, and you've made a number of films yourself, haven't you?
I'm not saying any of them were any good. Well, no one's ever tested me to play anything other than Dave.
But you've done a load of films,
I've done a load of films, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid what happens is someone will slip in and go, well, because Courtney's in it, I'm not glamorising crime. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I made a film and took it to, because I made they'd done the lock stock thing on myself, and then they used me as an advisor in Snatch. He done the audition for Snatch in my back garden, chose my friend, Guy Ritchie, talking. So I made my own film. I took it to Cannes. It won Best of Group.
Oh, nice.
Hell to Pay. And if anyone ain't seen that, it's the best film I've ever been in. Hell to Pay. And
where can people get that?
Well, they banned it the very day it came out. They banned it for no apparent reason. I think you can still buy it off Amazon, Hell to Pay.
Hell to Pay from Amazon, Dave Courtney's finest work.
That's my best film I've ever been in. But when they come back, they went, because I know the telly people and the reporters, they all want you on Richard and Judy and talk about it, but they're still trying to put you in prison. They're terrified of you becoming a movie star, Dave.
Because you're built for the mainstream. You're built for the mainstream. I think you are, mate. You are.
And the nearest I can get out of that was courtrooms. I'm made for that. I'll do the little thing. So,
and I'll tell you the reason I asked about, because I know that you've done your own films, produced them and starred in them, and there ain't no one going to play Dave Courtney better than Dave Courtney. But I was surprised that when Guy Ritchie done Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Vinnie Jones played you, I sort of thought, Dave...
I was too old for
You'd be better playing.
I was too old then. I think I'd be better playing me, but in reality, I was 26. How the fuck can I play that? Or I was... Yeah, in reality.
You do look younger, Dave.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen you in that film.
It's a really
done.
good film, yeah.
Although, I do love Vinnie Jones. I think he's fucking
he's
brilliant.
cool, yeah.
Do you get on with him?
I've never met him. He actually played me. Well, you tell me who's right or wrong here. He did get the opportunity to play me. He was told, you're judged by the company you keep, and if you start hanging around with him, it won't work for you. So he played me, and he's never rung me, spoke to me, said, I'm not allowed to. Rung me up at 3 in the morning. Never, not one not contacted me, nothing. Ever.
Vinny. Come on, mate.
I was that.
Yeah, I had a lot of respect for you when you was grabbing Paul Gascoigne's testicles.
Not to have respect for him.
No, I'm only joking.
For the right thing, he did.
Yeah.
Paul goes, well, look, he has come fuck off to the crowd. He has whacked a few people out, but not gangster.
Oh, no.
Listen, Vinnie Jones, I will show you a million interviews of Vinnie Jones on Grandstand. He made one film where he played me, and when the film went cut, finished, he carried on playing Big Chris in real life. He played Big Chris as a part, so I can show you Vinnie Jones talking before he made a film. After he made a film, he's a little bit of a... You're not. You're a nut grabber off Gaza and you... Yeah, but he plays...
You're
a nut
grabber.
Day, all day for the rest of his life. Wow, man. It's worth one phone call to me to go...
I totally agree. Well,
I had a part in the film. I was playing Brick Tot. I had David Ford's part.
Right.
And Guy Ritchie pitched it for me. I was reading the script. I'd been for the castings, and then the money people went, you got to inform him then, Guy, but we're not giving you $6 million to build the film if you're going to send him. You know, British movie star. Oh, we can do without that. So he had to come round to my house and go, look, I'm really sorry.
Just continuously boxing you in and fucking alienating you from, like, opportunities. And it's weird that Vinnie Jones didn't contact you. Not that I want to sit here slag on Vinnie Jones, I like the geezer. But Tom Hardy, when he played Bronson, he was in regular contact with Charles Bronson.
And came to spend the day at my house with me for Sunday dinner on television.
There you go. So if it's good enough for Tom Hardy, it should be good enough for anyone.
Brad Pitt, when they were filming Snatch, spent the night at my house.
How bizarre. Well, that's how it should be.
Right.
If I was going to play you, I'd want to spend a month with you. I'd want to get to know your little nuances, your characters, your traits, your likes, your dislikes. Just makes perfect sense if you're an actor.
Right.
But yeah, so you've got a nightclub in the back of your house, isn't you? And I know you've touched base on this before, but I want to delve a little bit deeper into this nightclub, like the genre, the days it's open, who it's open to.
No, it's open to no one. It's my back garden. I bought next door's back garden and next door's and the end's their back garden. Built a big shed. Very, very big shed. Very, very big.
How many people, what's the capacity?
3.5.
Really?
2.5, something like that. And it's really just for me and mine.
Yeah, nice.
And it don't cost them nothing. And if any of my...
Don't need no doorman.
Right, and everyone in my road, if anyone wants their kids' parties in my house, I'm now saying it publicly, which I've already done 1,000 times, they use Dave's. They can have as many parties as they want, free, I don't care.
Yeah.
Do it. And on the road, they're cleaners, electricians, cab drivers for me at the end. You know, they actually... And everyone can have it. It's for us.
And
no one wants to let me and 50 of my mates in anywhere. So I have it there.
That's fair, though.
You know what I mean? So it's really like that. It was a convenience thing. And then all over to last week, I've got a part of Brendan. My number 2, Brendan. I live with Brendan.
Oh, so he lives with you as well?
With me,
yeah, nice fella who's here today.
Beautiful. He's funny, very funny man, which is very important to me. And he's not just a fly-by friend. I've lived with him for 15 years, and he's been my mate for 30 years. He's the godfather to my child. He's my mate. And the funniest bastard you ever get. And the only conditions what he brings to the table in my world is he makes me laugh from the minute I get up till when I go to bed. And any problems that come to the door or anyone else's problems that come to the door that I've got to mend, I can deal with them in a good mood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because every time I open the door, you'll get me like that.
Keeps your spirits up.
Right, and I can mend it. Oh, listen, you don't have to do that. You know, maybe you don't have to put a hole in him. Maybe I can do it, but I'm better with that. No, far.
So Brendan's your voice of reason.
Yeah, and he's also got a driving licence. Right? He's not consulted on. He can't get the blame for it or not consulted on anything. Decisions. I'm just saying he makes me in a good mood. I make the fucking decisions. He gets me there and keeps me in the right mood to make decisions. Because if I'm fucking with you one day, I ain't got loads of problems, mate. My life consists of mending your fucking problems. That's the truth. That's what my job is. Right? There's 399. There's 3 emergency services in London. 999, the AA, and Dave Courtney, and none of them can have a night off. And it's all right keeping yourself out of trouble. It's fucking easy. Stay in, right? But it's because Dave Courtney isn't really. I'm not here for the one man. I'm here for a million friends that have helped me and put their life on the line for me week after week. Come up at 3 a.m, come over. Right? It's not me. It's all of them. I'm just why I got famous. So thousands of people have helped me in my life. Now I've decided to go, I'm not doing that no more. It's all on top for me. I'm now doing this, trying to get on a telly thing, all right? And keep out of trouble. That's easy. But if any of them get in any trouble and then knock on my door and go, Dave, just call the old woman shagging the geezer next door. I've shot him in the head. I need to get out of the country. Help me quick. He's worked for me for 40 years. Been to prison for me. Got holes in his body, damn me. I'm the godfather of his kid. I said, what do I say? No, sorry, I'm writing books now. Can't get involved in that. Right?
So now.
And then I have to help that, and I'm back in it. Help me get out of the country, Dave. I've just fucking murdered someone. Help me. Give me that number of... No.
They obviously never read your first book.
What?
Which is called...
Stop the Ride, I Want to Get Off. That is why I wrote it.
Yes.
That propelled me publicly as gangster number 1, which I never said I was. So I've quickly tried to combat that and gone, stop the ride, I want to get off. I'm not like that. Huh?
Which is a polite way of saying, can you all fuck off?
Yeah. But it's too late, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's lit.
Yeah. But do you still like the leadership, or do you feel like it's pressure? Because the older we get, we want to relax more, don't we?
The leadership is just in your bones anyway, but there's just a lot less urgency and amount of people I have to lead in any specific area. Right? Just as a man in a front room, I'd most of the old call and have a chat, be the loudest one or whatever. But I think that it's the knowledge that I enjoy sharing. That you see save someone, or you see them go, fucking hell, that's it. You know, it's.
So you become more of a mentor. The older you got. Everyone's big brother.
Yeah.
And we even mentors need a mentor.
And I don't like getting the credit for all the things they've done. I also didn't like getting the blame for things they did. You know what I mean? If 6 of us went out last night and you murdered and stabbed someone, they wouldn't actually mention your name. They'd go, Courtney's boys was in here causing trouble. And you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I can see that over the years.
And I can't never go no to someone that has helped me for 20 years.
Because you've had the blame for a lot of things, didn't you, over the years?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, I've got a lot of not guilties.
I was going to say, for someone who's been blamed for a lot of things, you've probably had more not guilties than you've had blame, it, yeah? Or it's not too far off.
I've had well into 22, 23 not guilties.
And that's them attempting to stitch you up.
Well, no, it's not attempting. I never said I didn't do it. I never said I'm just saying I got not guilty.
Careful, Dave.
And I'll fucking tell them, because you can't, like Lenny McLean, you can't get another Lenny McLean because the times have changed and the licensing and all that. And you'll never get another person getting 21 not guilties, because you used to be able to go, if there was an element of doubt, that's the first rules in your Archibalds. If there's an element of doubt, you have to go on the side of not guilty, because we cannot be guilty of putting an innocent man in. So if there's an element of doubt in any crime at all, you have to go not guilty. And as long as you've got good enough friends, Mr. Popular, Dave, I'd have 30 people turn them as witnesses, firemen, policemen, soldiers, to say, I was with him last night. That is the element of doubt.
Yeah.
So you get not guilty all the time. But nowadays you can't do that, because you've got 8 months to hand in your witnesses, and the prosecution then go, Every one of these witnesses is on his Facebook.
So not only were you supplying doormen back in the day, you was also supplying your own witnesses.
Yeah, I brought witnesses with me. If I was going to go and do a betting office, I'd put 4 witnesses in there, him and his wife, run in, do the thing, run out. And by the time the police come, no one wants to be a witness anyway. And the only witnesses the police had were my 4. And they went, big, tall, ginger, black man, left on horseback, that way, Millwall. They got to say anything you want. And if I did get caught, the witnesses turned up and said it weren't him. I brought my own witnesses to my own jobs.
Situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't see what's...
So you've got yourself out of a lot of tricky situations. There's one situation I really want to know how the fuck you got out of this one. Now, I've heard a story, you can correct me if I'm wrong or tell me if I'm right, that you was over in the States and was you looking after porn stars?
Yeah.
And you ended up in a porn film?
Yeah.
Now, I've heard this story. Tell me in detail, and then I want to know how you got out of what happened eventually.
All right.
This is a blinder, isn't it? Come on.
There's a friend of mine who owned somewhere called Sin City, and he wanted 8 English, very English porn stars to go out there because at the time, all the porn stars looked like Pamela Anderson. And he wanted someone a little bit whiter, a little bit more like false tits and a bit more normal shape,
English rose type.
Whatever, yeah, just a whiter, but because every porn star, they're dark brown, Californian tan. And he wanted someone to go out there for a month or 6 weeks, and they was going to move all around that coastline and hire out these villas for them to live in, and there's a location to shoot in and make a load of films while I was out there. And they needed someone to do the security, so I'm on that, and
You thought, if I have to.
And my wife is she wasn't my wife at the time, but it was Jennifer. I'd been with her 10 years. She loved the thought of it. It was all okay. She didn't mind bringing a couple home. She loves a lady. When I was building my house, we always wanted a little 50 Shade dungeon thing. And right near the end, I was going, well, I've run out of money, babe. I'll either finish the dungeon or the kitchen. What did she say?
The dungeon?
Right.
Of course.
That is my baby. Right?
You can get a takeaway.
I'm out in America. I'm meeting all the people making the films, looking after this girl, didn't need any security. And I'm watching all these films getting made in like an aircraft hangar. And there was 8 different films being made in 8 different corners like that. And the table in the middle where they was all running to get makeup, cup of tea and all that. So I'm chatting away with him and I said, I'd love to do that. He went, you could do it, man. You just go over there, your knees just in a fucking hour. He said, you just go through, pick like a magazine, like a catalogue. You used to get your Chris, and you look through the catalogue again, you can have her, I'll have her and her to do that.
A fuckalog.
Right. And they ring up and they go, okay, get your age test, £4 or something. You could do it. He said, if you're well, I said, I'd love to, but I couldn't do all that coming on telly, people I know it. He went, Davey, I can do this. I can guarantee you it stays in that fucking hotel. It ain't even the country, it ain't even the state, it goes with that hotel. That's where it's. Really? I mean, his promise is it? I ain't gonna fucking lie to you, man. I said, okay, done. So I've done all these fucking things, with these films.
Oh, you've done more than one scene?
I've done more than one scene, but listen, once I got the hang of it, bruv, and now, yeah.
Hooked?
Yeah, I thought I was fucking, I was mostly shit, but I thought it was good anyway.
It takes some fucking guts to do that.
Well, yeah, so I forgot it. I forgot that. 4 years.
Well, are you hung like a porn star?
No.
Well, even more credit to you then.
No.
Because I couldn't do that.
But I've got other colleagues. Ask your wife. So now 4 years later, Joey Powell's getting married. And we're all going out to Vegas, and he got married in the Treasure Island Hotel. And if anyone ever says to you they're getting married in Vegas, you automatically assume it's a little cheap tin pot Elvis fucking city chapel thing. But this ain't that. This is Joe Powell and it's in the Treasure Island Hotel. There's a fucking cathedral. There's 1,000-seater fucking cathedral made out of gold leaf, red velour. It's just, you couldn't dream of it. I was sitting there with her going, wow. What a gaff. And that night, Brendan won a load of money and went, and I said to her, if I'd known it was this fucking cheap, I'd have married you myself, by the way. And he heard it. He came up to the room, and I married her. Next day, he won the money. I went out and married her the next day. So it's all fucking beautifully happy. It's fantastically romantic. They swapped rooms. They'd give us the honeymoon suite. Massive big round bed as big as this room, wobbling it. And she's lying in the middle of the bed watching telly, and he's gone on the porn channel. And I'm plugging thinking, as it entered my head, what hotel is it? Great Westerner. It's a Great Westerner all over America. I've got their porn channel, and I'm on that. You can't copy it off it or nothing, but it's only shown in the south side of America, or something, you know. I'm in that bit of America with my missus. She's on the porn channel, and it went, English Gangster. And I've tried to get over to her to grab the telly control, but the bed's too fat. I couldn't get to her in time, and there I am. Leather chaps, cowboy hat, leather waistcoat, bollocks hanging out. You know.
What about your bum cheeks?
Don't want to talk about it. We're doing a gangster program.
Oh, sorry.
I would call myself a G, but I'm about 0.8. You know.
We'll take that. Well, I tell you what.
And so she saw it, and just obviously we're ballistic, and needless to say, we're not married.
Well, stop.
That's not the reason we're not married.
She forgave you for that. Yeah, how did you get out? I mean, first and foremost...
I couldn't get out of it.
Nah, you was in it.
Yeah, and she's not a sort of little rowdy bird, you know. She's a very feisty little lady. If I deserved a smack in the mouth or something, I would catch it.
Did you get one that night?
Don't want to talk about it.
All right. But let me...
Yes.
But what I will say is, and I'm sure people would agree, there ain't nothing much more gangster than starring in your own porn film. That's pretty gangster.
Oh, yeah. Living with her was pretty gangster. She was a porn film, and I had her mate out there, Andrew at the time, who, thank God, if it weren't for her mate being there for someone to run off and talk to, she would have basically, shot me.
Yeah, weighed you in. So when I see you on Trisha years ago, you and your wife, Jennifer.
Yeah.
So I could never really imagine you without her moving forward, because all the bits of TV I'd see you on or...
I found it very, very hard, to be perfectly honest, to move forward in anything since not being with her. But the pressure of your son getting murdered, yeah, and being caught up in some of the blame.
Are you happy to talk about that?
I'm happy. I will talk about it. It doesn't cheer me up.
No, you know what I mean. Are you comfortable? Because I don't want to push for things that are crossing the line.
Yeah, good. I don't want you to either.
No.
But you can't in that, because I'm comfortable with it. But
and I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
It hurts me today. Because on that one day I lost my son, I also lost my wife, because 7 weeks later or whatever, we ended up separating.
As soon as that?
Yeah, well, there's a very big pressure of when that happens, and they didn't know who had done it. It wasn't obvious from the beginning who had done it. And I, because me and him had a little rollabout on the floor 2 weeks ago, was in the frame. You know,
surely.
Just the pressure of all of that. Me and everything. Just the pressure of someone's killed my son. He's dead. I don't know who it is. All eyes on me. You know, you got Trident referring things for their own reasons, and that, you know, it just caused me a bit of problem.
So you got fully investigated for it?
I don't know. If you've never been involved in a murder case, they go deep, long. Yes, I was investigated for it.
Yeah.
And most probably the kids I went to school with, they're investigating. You know, and they're looking at my ass with all the guns on the wall going, when he grew up, did he have to live with this? And I've put him in that situation.
So you're trying to, rightly so, grieve for an outrageous loss, and you've got pressure of people putting the blame on you.
Me and my wife never got a chance to grieve. But anyway.
You still love her and all, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, she knows that. I see her most days. But I'm not a pining lover. I'm having another relationship. For one with a lady called Karen lives on Stow in the Wold, up in the country. But she knows Jenny, but Jenny built she was a very big part of building me. You know, she was a very big part. She gave me half my army. The fact that we genuinely fell in love. At the time, me and Jelly fell in love and all that, it weren't a common thing, big white skinheads and black ladies. That weren't, it was a different kind of racial tension than they think there is now. It was different then. I like to think that I pioneered. Yeah.
Bridging the two races together.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, fair play.
I think I pioneered. I genuinely. I never thought about it at the time. It was never entering my head at the time. But if
you was doing what felt natural.
If 4 million naughty black guys would now rather trust me than them because they know where I'm going.
Yeah.
With that, you know, it helps me in a million different ways. And because she is such a little road girl herself, was such an intelligent, clever, funny, you know, proper person, she kept my feet on the floor. Mm. She didn't let me run away with the Dave Courtney thing. She didn't let, and you can sometimes be a bully when things are going good, or when you've got too much money in your pocket, you can't help the real fucking sick that, you know, like someone. And as long as I could come home and tell her everything I'd done all day, and she was never embarrassed of what I'd done, I was doing all right. And she actually made me brave enough to do some really incredibly brave things for you if she's there. Yeah, a geezer had my friend on the floor in Tenerife with a gun to his head, and because we was out last night and the bloke that we was talking to had got kicked to death last night, they thought it was us, me and Seymour. Anyway, a big scene, and as I went to run over to help my mate, they shot at me from the floor. So I've turned my back and looked at her, and she's facing me, holding the kids. I went, I've got to go and get him and I. And she went, you have, I really love you, go on. Look, don't cause no trouble, don't get involved, don't. Done the right thing, made me turn around and run at the man with the gun. And I don't tell that story a lot because I sound like a div, but there's footage of it, hundreds of thousands of witnesses, people, there's a knock-on effect of people going up to trouble over it. But it was her. I got the glory of it. Seymour would always go, you've run at the geezer. He's on the floor with his looks like that. And I'm like, a life for a life. He died, no. And it was there. Mm. So I went to go, they shot at me, I turned me back. She went, get the fuck out there. Can't get your mate.
So you really were Bonnie and Clyde, weren't you?
Well, without trying to make it sound silly romantic and taking away a lot of the beauty of the power she gave me by being there, she made me run a man with a gun, mate. And not because I'm brave or I'm stupid, because...
You were led by love?
Yeah, because otherwise I would let my mate die in front of you. No, she was just that powerful, and I miss that.
Still.
You know what I mean? So once you've had it with someone, it's an eye bar for anyone else.
She's completely irreplaceable as a human being.
As a human being, but she's now ticking on like and her thing, and I'm not pining it back. I'm just saying I appreciate what it is and what it was.
You sound like you're pleased that she's happy.
I'm chuffed to fuck.
Yeah, nice, fair play.
Yeah.
Although I'd always affiliate the two of you together.
Yeah, and so will I.
I think most people are going to, aren't they? Because you were fucking...
I'm proud of that.
And so you should be. And so just to quickly move on from, because I know that's a sensitive subject, so I don't want to go any further into it than we have to. But it's nice to see. It's very nice to see a tough, strong man show love and vulnerability, because it paints the full picture. Like, you haven't got to be a brute every day of your life.
As here with your cameras and lights and men and things.
Yeah,
I've had my cry days, mate.
Yeah, I bet you have, man. I bet you have. But so going on to a more funny, solid, enjoyable memory of you two when you were together. She punched someone in the face for you outside court, didn't she? Now, I know that it's been said before, but some people ain't heard it, and it's such a blinder when you turned up to court.
Yeah, on the day I got arrested.
As a jester.
On the day I got arrested, obviously, the copper didn't go, had pictures of me talking with this bank copper, and they've gone, you're a bank copper, look. Yeah, working for Courtney. He went, no, he's working for me. So that's really how it started. And after learning that, I said in the police station on the very first night, do not ever put me within arm's reach of that man getting into court as a co-defendant. Don't, because I will punch him in the head for that. Right? I will punch him in the head for saying what he's saying. I'm saying, and they believed me, because every time we went to court afterwards, they put him on in the morning, me in the afternoon and all that. And I went to court there one day dressed as a court jester. Right? They said to me, they put it in the newspaper I could be an informant. And did I want to go in the back door with a blanket over my head?
This is a good time to interject quickly. Now, anyone that wants to see Dave Courtney outside court dressed as a court jester, just in case some of you think, nah, no one would ever do that. No one's that off their fucking head. There you have it. Are we in there? Can we see that? That is Dave Courtney outside court.
Let me tell you the reason I've done that. Right? They asked me if I wanted to go in the back door of the court because I'd had some bad press with a blanket over my head, and I was so fuming. I was so like, you cheeky bastard. The biggest thing I could do is I would turn up as not to hide from the press, for the press. I'll give them something to look at. I'd turn up with 45 of my mates as a court jester, which was I had from the proper Angels. It was in Romeo and Juliet as well, that the last thing that was in, that court jester outfit, and took it to court as it's a fucking joke, court jester. I shouldn't be here with all the bells and all that. And because I generally didn't believe I was going to bump into him, I've got all there, and because all the other court cases he'd been on in the afternoon, I've been on in the morning. And as I walked into court with all my mates making a statement, they was taking him out, and he came past within arm's distance. So
you hung by the tongue.
I went one, bang, knocked him out, he fell on the floor. Then I was grabbed and all that. Then my wife came in, and as they picked him up, one went under this arm and he's facing that way, behind me, and the other one picked him up with the other arm. And as they're trying to sit him on a chair, Jennifer came in. And there he is in front of her, being held with his arms like that, being took that way. And she just ran up and put a little combo on him. I see me being dragged off. I just walked up to him and he's going,
Was that caught on camera?
Yeah.
Ah, even better.
It was on the news. Stop it, I'm getting harder on. Stop it.
That's what does it for Dave. Women getting violent.
No, it doesn't.
Or weighing in old Bill. So from that, you got not guilty, didn't you?
I ended up getting not guilty.
You got not guilty. And also, you predicted on the flyers that you printed that you were going to get
flyer is so good.
That you were going to get a not guilty.
Yeah.
Are we allowed? Can we print that? Can we put that flyer on there?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so around about now there will be the front and the back of a flyer that Dave had made and printed prior to the court case. Yeah. And
this 10,000 of these were made.
10,000. Yeah.
And I'm inviting them all up to the Old Bailey to come watch because I knew I was right. I taped him. I taped the copper. Right, so I couldn't not get. And he went not guilty right up until the day the court started, so they could be writing, Courtney might be an informant, Courtney might be an informant, Courtney might be an informant, the Austins, the coppers going, he's working for him. And on the day the court started, he went, no. Yeah, I had to go through the whole court case because he waited till that day. And he said it the day before I wasn't ready to go.
Yeah.
An 8-month period in my life while he was getting Mr. Popular, I was running for Lord Mayor of London, running a magazine, being in a regular magazine, television. The popularity thing's doing their head in.
They don't want you to be popular, do they? They don't want you to be liked,
that was the thing.
Course.
And then while I had this opportunity with the court case, they would try to put a little dent in that because they know that the grapevine is the most dangerous weapon in the world. And all the time they can put two words together, Courtney, grass, for 8 months. Some of it would stick. On the day I got not guilty, but I still paid for it today.
So that's that.
Yeah, I still pay for
that connection's still there now.
Well, yeah. Nowadays, anyone talks of comedy got to be wrong, but it's different eras. There was times when we all everyone had a copper.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could,
the copper was the grass for you.
If you could have a bent policeman and didn't, you're div. Right? So everyone did it. You had to do and say and like a copper pretending to be a criminal. They get right in. They spend 5 years, don't they? And then go, no, I'm a copper.
Yeah,
Donny Brasco and all that. There's things I had to do and say to get into.
And they'll go beyond beyond any measure to infiltrate a firm, wouldn't they?
Man.
Yeah. Well, they're the biggest firm in the world. People seem to forget that.
People shouldn't forget that.
No.
And how corrupt, Liam Fraser.
Yeah. And anybody trying to
each department will help the other department. And if some department goes, I need a bit of gun buster over here, I need a witness for this, they give them to each other. They learn from us. I'd put a mate up as a witness, and they do the same. All right, if I know a mate with an MOT garage, I don't have to bring the car there. They do the same. When he goes up there and says, check out the percentage of that Kia Charlie. If he come back and went, it's not Charlie, it's Flower, they're going to go, oh, whatever. Say it was 98%. You go, all right. And it's as simple as that. Don't think it ain't as simple as that. It is.
Yeah, of course.
And each mate helps the Masons, to Man United supporters, the skinheads, we're all helping each other. And it's us against them in their eyes. And if they can put a bit of gum residue there, leave a dog in on the floor over there, say that was 98%, for nothing, it's going to cost you nothing. It's just that. Of course I will.
Because you don't glorify or promote crime by any stretch, do you?
No, I'm telling you, don't be one.
Yeah, don't.
Wrong era, because you're falling for all the computer games, if you want to say that, the music or the gangster thing. But there ain't no more gangsters. There is no more. Right? No. There is no more gangsters. I'm not going to do the old cliche sandwich on, but there ain't no more. What are you chasing crime? They're building the prison to put you in. There's no way you're getting away with that now. Not them kind of crimes. A criminal now has got a computer and a little curtains haircut somewhere up in the city earning £2 million a day. That's a criminal.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right, not sitting there shotting or...
And what about the level of violence now compared to back in the day? I mean, violence is violence, but the escalation now compared to, say, 30 years ago.
Oh, we've caught up with the European and different continents of the world have different values on human life. And in England, we hold it really high. You'll get a smack in the mouth for doing something wrong. And in other countries, Bosnia, Moscow, other countries, they don't hold it very high. And they'll come and shoot you. So now everyone's living in everyone else's country. The level of violence has had to come up. The level of amount of different languages a load of people can speak, that's all come up. And the amount, you understand what I mean, the amount of people who've got intellectual drive. And the level of violence now has come in with the influx of different nationalities of people. And there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
It ain't going to. It's not a mendable problem. It's a spiral problem. It's actually secretly incited by people that you wouldn't believe, because the fact that there is a knife problem earns lots of people millions of pounds.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's
the biggest employer of this whole country is the legal system. The biggest employer from barristers, coppers, traffic wardens, prison wardens, dinner ladies in the hostels afterwards, social workers. So they need crime and everyone doing it wrong. They won't ever promote that. But if everyone stopped parking on the double yellow line like they're telling you want to, they've got to sack 400,000 traffic wardens tomorrow.
And they talk about the war on drugs. Do they really want drugs to stop being peddled?
No, I shouldn't think so. But the rest of the world will run by the telly. You'll have a few people that know, if you wanted to stop that, you do that. Everyone else don't know that. So they think that the way that they're trying to stop drugs is right. We know it ain't. We know it ain't.
It would be a pretty simple solution. If you wanted it stopped, it would be stopped, wouldn't it? Like pure and simple.
They're not going to advertise or even hint along that line. They tell you it is.
Yeah, I mean, and anyone that sort of sits back and they're a bit more of a free thinker and they don't believe the box in the corner of the TV, sort of work that one out. But so many people are indoctrinated and just believe all that.
You're now put down as
conspiracy theorists. Yeah. And going on the subject of drugs, because you speak very freely about drugs, and there's been many times I've watched you on a telly talking about drugs, specifically the fact that you wouldn't take a drug that you have to share. And I fucking roll around laughing, thinking that is such a funny such a funny perspective on certain drugs, and the way you break different drugs down are brilliant. And even your use of drugs and your drug of choice, which was amphetamine, is that right?
Yeah. I'm not saying I didn't try any of the others. I did.
You just didn't want to share them.
But it's horses for courses. But if Puff makes you feel all tired and yeah, man, right, there is a time in your life you'd like that. Round about 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12, bedtime if you're a worker, then Puff's good. Bed. But people who want to puff all day and just film like that all day, you're using it wrong, aren't you? I get it that it works for then. You don't want it all day. Yeah, I get it, an E while you're out raving. It's like, wow. But not every day, you know what? You know what I mean? Horses for course.
Do you still ever go on the E's now? You just say in your nightclub?
Really, I'm now 64 and I've had a couple of heart attacks and a bit of cancer and fucking riddled with arthritis.
I didn't know, but I knew there was a heart attack because I remember you'd done a video and you was in the hospital bed and you've popped up and you've spoke about it as if you stubbed your toe, and I thought, there you go, that's Dave again. Fucking good sense of humour.
You do get to hurt a little bit when you're older, and I'm having a little bad with that. A little bit of bad with that.
What with the?
Yeah, arthritis.
So that's giving you
a bit of bad with that, to be honest.
Are you on like strong painkillers for it?
I'll get injected every week.
How long's that been going on?
A good few years, but it just
gets worse and worse. Yeah, I suppose now ain't the best time to be cracking on with the bumblebees raving till 4 in the morning.
And I've broke myself up a lot. You know, I've been in hospital for 7 months with a car accident, and I've had numerous operations, and I've hurt myself. I've broken up bones.
Have you ever taken a royal hiding from a firm or one?
Yeah, of course I have.
But do you know what I mean? But people...
Listen, you have to take a good hiding. No one by choice would ever say that. But you ask any boxer, what did you learn from the 19 fights that they gave you so you can win these first 19? Right, arseholes. Or the one fight you lost. What did you learn from right in the corner while you're getting done? Right? While you're winning and going, right, you're learning nothing. You're just, right? While you're losing and trying to do that, that's where you'll go, I'll never get in this position again. Wow, you learn more by getting hurt.
Yeah. Well, I've never.
You have to get a little bit hurt to learn. Yeah?
I've never heard a geezer in the boozer talking about the hiding he received. It's always about, I done this, then I chinned him, and
I don't have to do hidings no more. Or deliver or take because I point. I'm lucky now. Yeah. But there was a time I've had a couple of good hidings. I've been knocked out. Twice.
Yeah, same. I've got no shame saying it at all. Absolutely none. But you know what? People are like, oh, he thinks he's a tough guy. And it's like, no.
I ain't actually saying I'm not saying I'm a tough guy.
I know you're not. And I've heard you say that, which is...
The worst boxer that there ever was.
Oh, did you do a bit of boxing as well?
I done a little bit of boxing, yeah. That's my claim to fame. I'll go in a ring with Lenny McLean.
Ah.
That's exactly what I should have said. That's exactly...
Should we cut that? What's your claim to fame, Dave?
That's exactly how I described it. It lasted 17 seconds. It was only sparring. He was using the same gym as I was using Sunday morning, the Blind Beggar. Thomas de Beckett, sorry, in the old...
That's the boozer Cornell got. Yeah.
And Lenny McLean come in and shoot with the road out. Wow. Sparring partner didn't turn up. You were into any fancy spar? No, I did, and I thought, he can't hurt me, saying sparring. Get in the ring with Lenny McLean, stop it.
Yeah.
So, when I'll have a go, he went, oh, you better put someone on your shoulder that you ain't big enough for me to put. So I guess he went, ding, ding, and this is what he did, just the truth. Ding, ding. I wasn't really frightened, because it was sparring. And he went, blah. I just couldn't. It worked, whatever that is supposed to do.
Then you were frightened.
Yeah, and however long it took for him to walk towards me like that, he just went, wah, and I went like that, he went bang, and that hand went bang, and that hand went bang. And the next thing I know, I was smelling salts. So I lasted 17 seconds with Lenny McLean, and 10 of them was a count. 1, 2, so my boxing...
Nice of him to go light, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, cheers, Len.
And I knew him.
Yeah. Gosh, good job you did know him. Fucking hell, imagine not knowing him. And what about...
and that was his spar for the morning. He then come out, had a shower, got dressed and went home.
Well, do you know what? You know when you said, initially when you said, I had a fight with him in the Blind Beggar, you would sooner have a fight with him in the ring than you would the Blind Beggar, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Him in an environment like that, like he's on the door in a little, like, enclosed space.
You'd think you were trapped in a ring with 2 sponges tied to your hand. But Lenny angry can still put it. He can still get spiteful with that, you know.
Yeah.
holding your head on the floor and stamping on it.
He's one of the least people in the world you'd want to have a straightener with, isn't he? On the cobbles.
He genuinely, he was a man that I know, and I've watched him. He genuinely enjoyed the smack. You go bang and he go, oh, lovely boy.
Thanks, mate.
Lovely. That's, oh, you've done now. Now I've just turned it into turbo. Like, you saw him go, oh, fuck, what the fuck have I done?
Did him and Roy Shaw never, settle their differences and have a bit of mutual respect?
No. No, just there wasn't there's dislike. There wasn't no disrespect because it started with Roy Shaw was called the governor. Roy Shaw was called the governor.
Right.
And he won the first fight between him and Lenny and started calling himself the governor, this, the governor, that, the governor, this. So when Lenny won the next fight, he didn't nick that word back because he didn't like Roy calling him, I'm the governor, I'm the governor. So then Lenny nicked that word back from Roy. He's now the governor. And then while he was the governor there, he started getting famous for it. But they started doing it a bit more commercial with the bare knuckle, selling tickets for the Roy Shaw Lenny McLean fight instead of hiding it in the back of a traveller's site, you know what I mean, or in a car park. Now they're doing it.
They put it up in lights.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy that used to shout, oh, I'm the governor, big chain on him?
Oh, you're talking
Another guy. Oh, you know what, you can picture him, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh, big gold chain. Oh, no, you used to go Caesar's Palace all the time. Did you used to go to Caesar's a lot?
Yeah, all the time. That was half our, me and Young Joe's promotion. That was.
Mean Machine, that was yours?
Yeah.
How about that?
And Ricky English.
Yeah.
I was a part of the little team of, they were the promoters and I was the commentator in the. And it was dreamy. It was my meeting place for at the same table you would have Frankie Fraser, Tony Lambriano, Jimmy Lambriano, Roy Shaw, Freddie Foreman, Charlie Richardson, all at the same. It was like fucking Narnia. It was all red, deep velour, big old-fashioned stage, gold smoke. Every man had a suit on. His missus was done up to the nines. It was fucking Narnia. You just walked in there and went.
This is Caesar's Palace in Streatham.
Wow, yeah.
Caesar's Palace in Streatham. That was some.
It was not
that was some
a
gaff.
place like it. It was intoxicating. You just went in there and went, fuck, I'm a man.
Yeah.
Bloke.
And when it went off in there, it went off in there.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful place.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just saying it made me feel a bit romantic, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad I brought some nostalgia out of you because I know there's certain little things, and I've been in certain places because I've done a few shifts working the door when I started my security firm on a Sunday for the Mean Machine Productions. There, it was all bangers and mash at the end of the shift, and yeah, the atmosphere was outrageous. The characters were unbelievable. Roy Shaw was in there one night in his purple pastel suit, and you could just good energy. It was a good energy, but it did go off it went off frequently, but when it went off in there, people sort of didn't really know who they could take liberties with because there was a lot of either fear or sort of respect for different firms because it had the potential to really, and even the old bill outside the front, they would line up and not want to get involved.
Wouldn't come in.
Nah, that's the one thing. It's like, shit, we really are on our own. Although they're lined up with their batons and their shields, they're not actually interfering with all this violence and everyone's tooled up and fucking swords, and then you've got gangs of people trying to lure you up the street, and then I'll be like, don't go up there because
what the actual place was this. It made no mistake. This is the importance of it, the clandestine secret society thing. It was a place where once a month, every naughty man could actually catch. It's all before computers and mobiles, right? So for a long time, for many years, once a month, everyone had a genuine reason. If all them heads of different firms started meeting in an hotel lobby, there'd cause a little ripple somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But they had a genuine reason for all of the bosses of everywhere to be in that one building on Saturday night to watch the boxing. And all the work got done, all the mates got met, the orders got gave, the money was delivered, the addresses were swapped, all with a bow tie on watching the boxing. And there was a genuine reason for any set of policemen following that bloke for him to go and visit him. I went them to Embryo. That was the importance of places like that.
And the crazy thing is people get far more gobby on Facebook than they do in a gaff like that. Funny that, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah. Do you get some verbal on there?
Nah. I get death threats on a weekly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, people. What's that in the comments? Yeah. Or do they direct message you?
No, I don't know what all that is. Someone else does all that for me.
So when someone says, "Oh, you got another death threat, Dave," you're like, "All right, whatever."
It's giving dickheads on that computer thing.
Yeah, credit where it isn't due.
I'm in full admiration of the speed in which the world's going forward and
It's hard to keep up, isn't it?
I'm not fucking trying to, mate.
Yeah, no, I mean,
what I said, I'm in awe of it.
Yeah.
I can see where it's going. I can see the benefits. I can also see the disadvantages, and I've also lived without it. Yeah? Right, so I'm a very immature, deciding personally to stay dinosaur around that. So
I think dinosaur's the best way. I mean, imagine, here we go, there's a question for you. You've been there, seen it, done it. You've had more face-to-face interactions than probably 95% of the country. And when you grew up, it was knockdown ginger, it was bulldog, it was like having a stroke if there was a problem. Now kids are growing up with that screen in their face, and it's just, how's that brain going to develop over the years? How are people going to do this?
In answer to that,
in 20 years?
Can't. Because the little box also spews out more information and knowledge than anything else in the world. That sold it to you. The truth is, it's teaching you in the wrong way. It's like going burn the books. So, that, it stops you going out getting the experience of it. Because you can go and say, what's it like a bunk up? Or how mental is this? How mental is this? You can go to somewhere now and go, to me, I thought it was fantastic to be 20 or 30. You can go, I'm in Forest Hill, I'm 30, need a shag, and we'll go room. And they go, yeah, I know one. And you can put a bird like that or flick left, or I'll do that one. I personally would like to meet someone like it.
Yeah.
A shag must really meant different than seeing as it's so easy to get one now. It was fucking hard work then trying to get your hand up a panty girdle, you know what I mean? But smelling her, liking her personality, knowing it'll be all right.
Chemistry.
Ain't a bad thing for it. It's just I can't do it. I'm not trying to get the ugly. I'm not trying to go on the wrong thing.
You wouldn't get an ugly one, Dave. You wouldn't get an ugly one.
I'll be hands up. There's a few.
However, we won't name them, no. What we won't do is we won't put them up as a still in the middle of the podcast. What about your dungeon, your sex dungeon?
Yeah. Well, it was a lot more active once, but it was. It is really just a working dungeon for film.
This is on your on your property.
It's at the bottom of my garden, where most people have gnomes.
You have something very different.
I've got a 3-story, 50 Shades of Grey dungeon for film purposes. It's rented, it's Pinewood, for anyone who wants it for naughty films or for a scene in any kind of TV thing. It's used all the time.
Oh, so you've monetised it as a business?
Yeah. It's not actually there as my dungeon in it.
Right. Okay.
Not for years has it been.
Right.
But it did have that. Dave Courtney did.
Well, that's the thing. So when people say Dave Courtney's got a sex dungeon in his house, you automatically think, he's down there, he's at it, rumping and dumping and doing whatever.
Yeah, but they're thinking Dave Courtney is eating live children in my house and robbing banks every day and murdering and raping. That's what they feel. I read them about me. Yeah. I read about me. I have to ring my mum and go, Mum, I'm sorry, but...
Wasn't me.
Yeah. Now I have the pies... The sex dungeon that is decorated like a sex dungeon, with all the Chesterfield walls and all that, I now use it. We're all dancing in as a nightclub.
So the dungeon is the nightclub and it changes depending.
Yeah.
And you rent it out to OnlyFans, girls, brasses.
Of course. Listen, it's not just the sex industry that want it. Photograph. More people want it for photographs, for... The model agencies want to come down there with all their models and just get all the photographs. They want to do a lot of camming from there. They want to do the Babe Station thing from there. They want to do the Ann Summers fashion shows there. They want to do the Pink Pound nights, the fetish, the bondage, the rope fucking thing they do. Everything.
So it's the
industry.
It's a bona fide business.
Yeah, it's an industry. Yeah,
which is brilliant. Again, people, you'd never read in the headlines, Dave Courtney, businessman. Well, you clearly are, aren't you? A shrewd one.
Of course.
Yeah, you've just said that you've got your property, you brought the next door's property, then next door, like, how many people, I don't know how many
I
people.
don't think no one would say to you, no, he ain't a businessman.
The tabloids wouldn't print that, would they? That's what I know people that know you would, but I'm talking about, I'm shaking the stigma of what the bollocks the tabloids print about you.
An editor said to me, I know Piers Morgan. So said to me, listen, you're not going to be wrote about anymore in he said, we're only going to write about you in the broadsheets, no more tabloids. I said, why is that then? He said, because you've been called everything and we can't get it all on the same. We've got thief, drug dealing, grass, criminal, Kray twin,
you name it.
He said, normally it's only about one line. He goes, but you're everything.
Yeah.
You're
the ultimate clickbait, isn't you? You're the ultimate clickbait.
He said, we can only write about you in the Observer now, where it's one big long line.
Yeah. Have you ever been on had an interview with Piers Morgan? Because he tries to fuck you, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I know him on a different basis. You know, I knew him as a bloke and an editor, and he would buy
when he comes down the dungeon,
and he was buying stories. But someone got a picture of Ronnie Kray in their coffin.
Didn't someone snort coke off Ronnie Kray? But that was printed, wasn't it?
Listen to me.
Clear it up, Dave. Clear it up.
I promise you.
I don't doubt you.
One, I don't do shop. That has nothing to do with it. It's everyone in the hospital would do that. But they said that I was trying to call him back to life with fucking Ouija boards. I snorted cocaine off his coffin and said, let's have a livener.
Oh, that was meant to be you that done that, because I heard the rumour but didn't know who was meant to have done it.
And I'm not saying, because I had to employ 2 people to sleep there every night for 14 days, someone else could have snorted on a night I weren't sleeping there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, but I'm saying me personally, did I snort Charlie up? No. Have I tried to call Ronnie Kray back with Ouija board? No. Was I frightened being in there? Of course I was. If you had mentioned Ouija board, I would have shit myself.
That's right, because you had to secure the coffin overnight, didn't you?
Yes.
Before the funeral.
For the 14 days it was there, Reggie got in touch with me and he went, someone's rung the English and Sons and said, not everyone's a Kray twin fan. We're going to set light to the fucking funeral parlour when Ronnie's in it. Fuck yeah. So he's then rung me and went, I need security there. And finding someone who wants to come and sleep in a funeral parlour with a dead Ronnie Kray for 2 weeks, that weren't fucking easy.
He's frightening even when he's dead.
That's it. It's scary, man. Scary. Anyway, I was supposed to get 14 grand for that funeral, but I never got anything.
Nah.
Well,
so everyone that turned up there done it out of love and respect?
Yeah, but I also took them on holiday to Tenerife. So I took 150 of my mates on holiday. And there was a fucking holiday, 150 men that done the Krays funeral with me. I took them all on holiday.
So they booked Reg booked your services and didn't pay?
Yeah. But it don't matter. I was happy in what I thought was going to be more than repayment.
Good marketing to you, that was right. Meant to be.
No publicity, bad publicity, so off I went.
And did you get in the mix of all Reggie's other, because he's like, Jules Holland, Roger Daltrey, he was in with all them. Knew all of them.
Yeah.
Because Roger Daltrey don't live too far from here.
No. I worked for Roger Daltrey. He owned, he part-owned a trout farm. He's a trout fisher.
Yeah, tell me about that. I'm a fan of Roger Daltrey.
Yeah, me too. And him and Bernard Cribbins owned a place called the Queen Mother's Reservoir in winter. And then in the daytime, it was a fishing, surfboarding, trout fishing boat clubhouse. And in the nighttime, it was the most sexy nightclub in the world. Right out on its own, just in the middle of a big reservoir, up a big hill. At the top was this beautiful club, and his big customers were, when all the planes come in, he would have something like 30 Swedish air hostesses, 30 Thailand air hostesses, 40 captains, it was 80. So it was a right high-class, high-end club, a lot of money. But right at the bottom of the road was a big gypsy site. And they were good-looking breed gypsies, you know what I mean? They were good-looking,
dark hair, light eyes.
Yeah, so that was causing enough ag down there. And one set of breed you don't actually want to start having a long-term fallout with.
No.
of the Traveller Boys, yeah. So it was an action-packed, fantastic time of my life.
Yeah, I bet it was. I love the fact you love Roger Daltrey. So, what's your favourite? Who's your favourite band? I bet no one's asked you that on a podcast, have they? Your favourite band?
I'm a different social, different man. I actually like.
Because you can sing as well, can't you, Geezer?
I used to think I could until I've
tried singing again 20 years later.
Yeah, I'd be too frightened to do karaoke. I have twice, I suppose. Same song. I found my thrill on Blue Hill. I love all that. But I've got a club at the bottom, guys. I love raving. I love a little bit of jiggy about. If I'm on my own, I'll be singing away with Elvis.
Neil Diamond?
I'm doing all of it.
Lovely.
Like, all of it. I'm a big fan of Rancid. They've got an album out with Dave Courtney on it, punk band. I'm in different. I wouldn't want to listen to punk music while I'm shagging, but I wouldn't want to try and dance to.
It's not the same as Lionel Richie, is it?
Right, different courses for different horses. I'm in everything, man.
Yeah, nice.
On my own in the car, I like something I can sing to.
Yeah, I do.
On a dance floor, I like something I can fucking have a proper rock.
Yeah, when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving, that's when I think I can sing. Anywhere else, I'm acutely aware I can't.
Yeah.
So what next for you, brother?
Well, I suppose I'm going to handle my next bit the same way as I've handled the first bit, where I'm ambling through. Yeah. I'm quite happy. I'm not so much driven for anything in particular. I'm just driven as in enjoying this day. I'm enjoying this day, whatever it takes.
Well, I feel like you've done your bird and you deserve to start enjoying all
my
days.
driving. I've been driven days. I've got there. I've been there, seen it done. I'm quite happy doing this. I'm just quite happy now. Being Dave Courtney in a moment is very, very easy. Getting here was a bit of a... Yeah. But being Dave at the moment, I'm not expected to do anything naughty, bearing, fight anyone, have any expectations. I'm just sit here and go.
Be the mentor.
Yeah.
And is there any...
And it's very humbling when the amount of people that want to have a little one-on-one and ask you something deep.
Yeah.
That he could hardly tell his best mate or his mum or his brother because he don't know you but knows, and because he's read the books. That's really a weird thing. Once you've read books and been on telly, you forget that people are going to approach you like they are your best mate. And you're going, who the fuck is he? I must have forgot him. But you ain't forgot him. You've never met him before, but he does know the name of your kids, the name of your dog, where you went on holiday, how much you lost. He knows everything. I think, who is it? But you never get used to that.
They know you. They think they know you.
Right, I don't know you.
Have you got any more books coming out?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Oh, so you've got books in the pipeline?
I've got 2 books.
And Amazon?
Nearly finished.
Nice.
And they're coming out at the set. And the reason they're nearly finished is I'm waiting for the documentary bit to catch up, because I'm going to bring them out at the same time as the doc.
And I'm looking forward to that documentary.
Yeah, I'm making a computer game.
Oh, yeah?
And I was the inspiration behind...
Like a Grand Theft Auto?
Well, that was based on myself. I got paid for that. The bald-headed geezer, and that was based on myself.
How about that?
Grand Theft Auto.
I didn't know that. That's the first thing that come to me when you said I'm having a computer game made on me. Anything else?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's loads. I mean, that's enough.
I can't think of anything of like fireworks to tell you, but I've got a couple of books coming out, but I've got a documentary being done. I'm doing...
To most, that's fireworks.
I'm doing a lot of voiceovers at the moment for American TV, gangstery programs, documentaries. A lot of my stuff is being sold abroad because over here we got the glamorised crime. In America, if I could bottle a fart, they would buy it. They can't get enough of it.
I'll be tempted.
Yeah, I'll give you...
Couldn't sort that for you.
I'll give you yeah.
And one last thing.
Go.
To anybody watching this that's considering a life of crime in this day and age, what would you say?
Crack. That's the best one.
That's the best earner.
Now listen, I'm going to say you don't be... I am going to say that. If you're at it, you are not competing against any human form of a Sherlock Holmes policeman. You're pitching your wits daily 24 hours a day, hoping to win every game, every day, all day for the rest of your life. Because the day you get it wrong, you go to prison. And I haven't got an alternative to tell you what to do with money. But being a gangster and all that is fucking not today. You have missed the boat. All right? You are being led down a path by music, fucking telly or whatever, or the romance. There is no romance around fucking gangster. That's only on telly and in books. All right? So I ain't got an alternative for you to how to live, but that one's a no-goer today. You can't be another Dave Courtney, Lenny McLean, Freddie Foreman. There ain't them. They don't exist no more. Like Jesse James, Dick Turpin, Captain Bluebeard. You don't do that no more. There's a new set of policemen, new set of rules to catch up. The reason it's all gone wrong for the criminal fraternity, believe me, is this. When England had just come out of a war, everyone thought army, loose lips have sink ships, walls have ears, the unity, the bonding, the importance of the pecking order, right? Loads of little privates, a couple of sergeants, a few captains, major, the importance of it, right away through to the corps, right? And that came out when you left the army and say you went into crime went that way. Army fired 15-man jobs, a great train robbery, with organisation and things like that. And nowadays, every criminal wants to be in charge. No one's accepting the pecking order. There ain't one. The Albanian's not listening to the Ronnie Kray. He's not listening to the Russian. The Indians and the Pakistanis ain't listening to themselves. The Polish and the Bosnians are doing their own little fucking thing. So it's never going to happen again where we all go, the governor,
Respect.
Right, and that was easy to run like that. How the fuck do you try and manage something that's got 25 bosses? You can't. So the police have won. They've divided and conquered. Now there's loads of little minority groups. They can beat all them because altogether as a firm you were scary. So they've used the computer to do that.
And after a good summary, that's a real good perspective on that and bang on. Well, I hope you carry on enjoying every single day. I hope you don't lose that beautiful sparkle in your eyes. And we'll keep in touch. And I'm delighted you come on. Thank you.